I was recently contacted by the folks over at Roaring Fire about doing a review on this Smolder wax canvas bag. And while I don't like to do a whole lot of reviews on some of these smaller bags because I've got a whole bunch of them, and they're just a lot of these bags these days are really low quality and are mass produced in China or wherever, and these companies just put them together super cheap and could care less how long they last because they're on to their next product next year. But this one intrigued me for a couple of reasons. The quality of the bag was the main one, and I'll go through everything that this includes, but I like this style as well. This is a waxed canvas. It's sort of got that classic kind of look to it, that rustic sort of look to it. And in the future, once this gets worn in, sort of like a pair of hiking boots, right? Once this wears in, it's going to look even cooler, and it's going to be more form-fitted and more comfortable for what you have inside of it. So I was really interested in this bag. And also the size of this is something that got me interested as well. I've done a video on this right here, which is a smaller organizer, but you can't fit all the things that you would fit in this. And I'll go through some of this in a bit too. This will fit in your pocket. If you take that off, you can see the lower profile. It will fit in your pocket, barely fit in your pocket. I don't like to carry this in my pocket, it's too heavy. You got this one right here too, this Maxpedition, that doesn't have a whole lot of features, but this will quote unquote fit in your pocket as well. But they're both a lot smaller than what this is. So that means that while this isn't going to fit in your pocket, there's a lot more that you can do with a bag this size. You could put it on your belt right here. It's got the MOLLE straps. It's got the brass buckles back here that you could take off. You could put these on the outside, and just a lot of different things that you could do with it, which is pretty neat back here. Like I said, it's quality construction. The wax canvas is water resistant. You can't dunk it in the river or anything, but it's going to be really water resistant. It's got the YKK zippers, which if all of your bags any bags that you use a lot should have the YKK zippers, but they are top of the line zippers. I really like this, and this is the shrink wrapped tube right here, the plastic on the knots to keep those tied. I've got a few on my other bags and they come off all the time. So this is a really good idea I might incorporate into my other bags. It's got the Velcro on the front here, so you could throw a patch on it. Like this one right here, one of my favorite patches, rub some dirt on it. You could make this a first aid kit or whatever you want. I'll go through that in a bit. But just really cool. And then on the inside, let me take this off right here. On the inside, I like this clamshell design too. It's got zippers that come down from both sides. So you can open this up. And I've got a few things in here just to demonstrate. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to set this up as yet. But it's got this clamshell design so you can get into it and open the whole thing. It's got this zipper pouch right here. It's got the carabiner on it, a key hook. I put a P38 can opener on here just because. And it's got this flap that comes on this side, and it's got all the MOLLE and the different attachments and different places you can store things in here, as well as the pouch on there and the pouch right here. So there's a lot of availability to customize this little pouch. And like I said, the quality of this product is so much better than you're going to get at Walmart. I say if you're going to buy something from Walmart, make sure it's a gift for somebody else and not something you're going to use. Unless it's something you plan on opening once or twice in your lifetime, then it's not a huge deal. But if you're going to get something and you're going to use it a lot, make sure you get something that is high quality like this bag right here. Another thing with this design, like I talked about, how it's over time it'll get to be that more rustic look, and it already is, but it also, with that rustic look, it's supposed to look aged, right? So with one of these, when this starts to get dirty and dusty, it's just going to kind of look ugly and you're going to want another one. With this one, that's sort of the way it's supposed to look, that rustic, aged sort of look. So I really like that. It's also got this pouch in the front where you can throw maybe some credit cards, some cash, anything like that. Got a few things that I'll throw in here. But what I want to do is talk about the inside now and what you can put in here and the different options that you would have for this. Right now, I've got a knife over here. I've got my flashlight. This pouch, I don't have anything in yet. I've got this whetstone right here, which is actually a pendant that I got from Wazoo Survival. I've got this little water purification kit, which is basically just a bag and a couple Ranger bands and some water purification tablets. This plastic bag right here, it's also got a piece of foil on the inside, but this plastic bag right here, you can heat up to 400 degrees. So while you can't have it exposed to direct flame, you can put this really close to a fire and get the water boiling if you need it to. Or you just use the bag and then put some of these these Catadine water purification tablets in there. I've also got this from Wazoo Survival, which is a fire card. And basically what you do is you shred off pieces of this. Say you use your knife and you just chop pieces of this off. And then this stuff lights really easily. I've done a video on this in the past as well. Or you can just light the whole damn card on fire. But this is kind of cool too, as a fire starting supply. And then one thing I found that will not fit in, say, one of these smaller ones, because it just takes up, it'll fit in there, but it just takes up too much room, is this duct tape. And as you've probably seen, you've got these smaller rolls of duct tape, right, that I think this is I think this is like 2 yards or something like that, but you've got these smaller rolls that will fit in these E.D.C kits, but this is 5 yards, and it's nice and flat. They even say back here, flat is how we roll. But this is kind of cool for bug out bags for everyday carry, and in this little bag right here, it fits perfectly in one of these slots. It's like it was made for that. So that is definitely going to be in here, whether this turns into a trauma type kit or whatever it turns into. In the back pouch right here, I'm not so sure about this. I've got a rain poncho, which takes up quite a bit of space. It's sort of bulky, but a rain poncho is one of those things that if you need it, you're going to be glad you have it. So that's sort of what I've got in here right now. What I can do is I'll show you some of the things that I have in this kit right here, and I'll just transfer them over. This flashlight right here isn't the greatest because it's wider. It's probably the same volume as this Streamlight right here, but this is a lot narrower compared to the other one. And this one is a little bit brighter, and it's got the charger right here, but the battery doesn't last quite as long. This Streamlight is usually what I keep in my pocket all the time. So this one may end up going in this bag right here, but you could put something like that in there. You've got this CKRT. I've got this ceviche knife. I think it's ceviche. It's basically a Chinese knife. This has actually stood up pretty well. The reason I got it is because I wanted to see if it was quality or not, and it's not terrible for the price. But I've got this CKRT that I like a little bit better that I might put in here, and this isn't one of the top of the line CKRTs, but a pretty good knife. So I can put that in here as well. As far as multi-tools, with this pouch right here, I had to figure out something that was going to fit and not be too bulky. Because if you get, say, your regular size multi-tool, that takes up a lot of room in here. And you're not going to be able to do too much else because you've got that huge multi-tool in there. Now, it will fit, but with something this size, you actually have the ability to put something like this in here, something that's going to be larger. And it's not going to take up all the room in the pouch. I've got this pen and this notebook right here. This is a pen, and this is a waterproof notebook. You just open up this pen, and then it writes on the paper right there. You could, I pulled out a bunch of pages on this, but you could take this notebook, just throw it right behind here. Not going to take up a whole lot of room at all. Throw this pen over here, and then you are good to go. And then on this, with this, on the inside here, I've got a ferro rod, a lighter, a little first aid kit, some money, some wet wipes, and a Forenso lens. another one of these things. So you can figure out places for all of these little things. On the outside here, this is where you could throw maybe not the first aid kit, but all the other things, your cash, the wet wipes, and things like that. Throw those in here. And then you still got the inside for other things. Maybe this first aid kit, you either maybe throw in here or throw behind here as well with that. You've got the lighters, and there's a bunch of different kinds. I've got this is the Zippo with the actual butane insert rather than the lighter fuel, because the lighter fuel just evaporates so quickly. But I've also got this one, which is sort of the same thing, and then you've got your regular Bic lighter. So you could throw whatever fits in this the best. You can throw a lighter in there as well. And then I've got, like I said, I've got this small little ferro rod, but with this size case, you could actually throw a full-size ferro rod in there, which is going to be a lot better as far as getting a fire started than something like this that's got this small rod on it. And this is sort of gimmicky. It's got a whistle and a compass on it, and those are basically junk. But you could do something, put something like this in there, or even a larger ferro rod. You can go right in here on that little side. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. If you set this up as a trauma kit, you've got all the different compartments you could use for compressed gauze. You've got the compartments you could use for the Celox, the combat dressings, all sorts of different things, and have this set up to be a smaller little trauma kit. You could use this for a ham radio setup. If you've got, say, your little Baofeng radio right here, you could throw this in this little pouch right here. All the other accessories, you could set this up just for communications. All the other little accessories. It might be a little bit tough to get the antenna in here. Let's see. If we take this antenna, this is a Nagoya antenna, which makes this Baofeng, it's almost impossible to use it without it, but you could throw this in here. See, wrap this around this way. Pull this on the inside right here. Wrap this around here, and this little Nagoya will actually fit in this bag. Close this sucker up, see if we can get it closed up. Can't get it closed up with the lighter and all the other stuff in here. So if we pull those two out, make sure that antenna is inside the bag. You could have your little Baofeng little 5-watt ham radio rig all set up. You could put the extra batteries in here. You've got the little radio, you've got your antenna, all the different things that you would need. And then you can, take this out when you need it. Throw this in your bug out bag, throw this in your vehicle. If you've got other ham radio stuff and this is sort of your backup, say you've got a mobile rig, this is just kind of a cool kit to be able to put all that stuff in it. With me, I do a lot of, when we go hiking, we do a lot of photography and stuff. So not everything has to be prepper related. Our whole lives aren't dominated by preparedness. So we have other hobbies. So it could be used if you are a welder, an electrician, if you are, like I said, we go and do photography quite a bit. You can put the batteries in here, the lens caps, all the different accessories, the cards, all those things that you lose, and you're trying to figure out where the hell was this or where the hell was that. And if you have a little kit like this, that's why I like all of these so much, is if you have a little kit like this, you know exactly where that stuff is. So at any rate, I really like this kit. Like I said, the size, it's really up to you what size that you're going to need and what you're going to use it for. I do like these smaller ones. I really like this Viper Aid, but it is what it is, and it's going to be used for what it's for. This usually sits in my truck, and when and if I need to be on the go and I don't mind putting it in my pocket, I can throw it in my pocket. Something like this would be more of I suppose you could put it on your belt. but it would be more of a something that stays in my bug out bag, or I throw in my bug out bag. But this is just a really nice pouch, and I'll probably do a video in the future on what I landed on as far as what I'm going to use this for, whether that's for the communications. I don't think it'll be used for a first aid, but you never know, or just a larger E.D.C pouch. You could even, if you've got the little battery banks, the power banks, even the ones with solar, but I've got this Goal Zero right here, which is, I believe, 2,000 milliamp hours, so it's not the largest one, but you can throw something like this in here. You could throw a couple of different chargers, maybe the little square chargers with the solar panel on it, some batteries, just to have that extra, that alternative energy type situation going on. So just a really cool pouch. And like I said, there's just so many different uses for these, whether you're talking about preparedness purposes or you're talking about just keeping your stuff organized and not losing it when you go to try to find something. And I'm sure you know how it is when you go to try to find something and you can't find it, it drives you nuts. And if you put all your stuff together in a kit like this, it's going to be a whole lot easier when that time comes to get it. So at any rate, I will make sure and leave the link to this down in the description below, but very cool, a little pack right here. If you have anything that I didn't answer or any questions about this, make sure and leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I will leave the link to their website down below, but just a cool little bag. Something that is high quality, something that is going to last. I did want to mention their warranty. It's a limited lifetime warranty, meaning I think it's pretty funny how they state it here. The lifetime refers to the product's realistic lifespan, not the buyer's. So in 30 years from now, if one of the zippers breaks, you're not going to be able to call them up and say, I need a new bag. Realistic is the key word there, but a limited lifetime warranty. So in a couple months, if you did get one that doesn't, the zipper doesn't work or something like that, which I highly doubt, but if you do, they will replace it. So very cool product, very cool design, and like I said, I do like this waxed canvas, and I'm curious to see what it's going to look like after some wear and tear in a few years. Like I said, if you have any comments, leave them below. But with that, we will talk to everyone later. Take care and prepare.